If you've been in this channel before, you already kind of know how I feel about random marketing advice. But there is a problem connected to it that I believe we don't talk enough about yet. And it's the effect that all of this has on your confidence and mental health. First of all, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not gonna give you medical advice. But I suffer from a bad burnout myself in the past, and I went to therapy for years, and I became some kind of an advocate for it because I know how important it is, and I need to have this conversation with you. Because think about it for a second. Think about all those advices, those myths, all made up and wrapped up by extroverts. Think if they were made to keep you stuck, to make you feel uncomfortable, inadequate, like you're missing some, or even that your nature is some kind of flaw. Now, I'm not saying that there's someone that's conspiring against you, but most of us kind of bought into this lie for years because they're literally rooted in our society, and they seem to be the norm. So if everyone is already struggling with the hustle culture or peer pressure, for us introverts, there's another layer on top. And it's this state of constant anxiety if you don't keep up with it 24/7. As I mentioned before, I had a burnout in the past, and it's because I pushed myself to the very limit, only to be left completely exhausted, sad, and honestly, it didn't even help my business for multiple reasons. It wasn't until I stopped fighting myself, my nature, and started picturing how I really want to shape my business and everything around me that things really started to align, leaving me satisfied with what I do rather than feeling always behind or inadequate. So in this video, I collected what I think are the top lies that actually keep you stuck in your business and marketing and make you feel drained. And for each lie, of course, I'm going to give you my truth, aka the one that actually worked for me. So it's not like a universal rule, but for me, as a person, as an introverted small business owner that's doing marketing and works in marketing. Because the goal here is hopefully to inspire you in feeling better in your own skin and find your very personal way into your marketing and business. So let's begin with lie number 1, and it's a very common one, and it's the myth of constant visibility. This idea that you always have to be on, that you're never doing enough for your business, you're never doing enough for your marketing. And this often translates in, oh, I have to post every day, I have to post 7 emails per week, I have to do this and that. But in marketing, doing more doesn't equal reaching more or earning more. Doing better does. Because when you know what actually works for your business, you can do less and go further. There are, for example, strategies that might ask you a little bit more effort up front, but they're gonna give you more later on without having to put too much effort in. Think of it like planting seeds, and then you get the flowers. For example, evergreen pieces, blog, YouTube. If you create a great article, it will keep ranking. If you create a good video that answers frequently asked questions of your ideal client, it will still be found and seen, even after months. Or think about a resource that people want because it's useful, because it really helped them solve a problem and keep you top of mind. And when they need something, you're the name. You might refresh it every now and then because nothing is completely static in marketing, but it keeps pulling the right people. And the point is that not becoming a content creator, you know how I feel about that. It is about finding your sustainable way into marketing, the system that fits your energy, your business, your ideal clients. And when you find those 2 or 3 things that actually move the needle, those 3 will beat 10 random things that you can do every day. I promise you. It's like the Pareto rule in action. It's 20% of the things you do are the one that bring in the most results. And yes, I'm a strong believer that it's possible to have a business, to market it, and have a life. Incredible, huh? Because this is where the trap is on, right? You are scared of marketing because you're afraid of everything that you need to put in, so you avoid it. But then you're without clients, so you need to go back and think about marketing. And the circle goes on again and again and again. So the way out, it's just simple. Stop ignoring your marketing and work with method. Find those 2 or 3 things that actually pull in people, the right people, and double down on that. And let the rest go while you recharge. But hey, you're here. And this means that you want to change things. So kudos to you already. The second one is also a popular one, and it's the myth of networking like extroverts. This one is a huge source of pain for many of us, me included. You must go to big events, pitch everybody, bring your business card, da 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 da. You know the drill. But then you buy the ticket, you end up in a big room, you drink alone in a corner, staring at everybody else talking, and that's it. You feel super uncomfortable, you go home super drained, and you start thinking that there's something wrong with you. There must be something wrong with you. I don't know about you, but I've been there. I'm talking about this from my own experience. And even if I'm pretty good at talking to people and socializing, honestly, there were so many times that I went back home and I was thinking like, oh, I didn't meet enough people. Maybe they were not super aligned. I felt like a failure. I felt like I didn't do enough, you know? I spent hours rethinking about the conversation that I had, trying to find what was wrong so that I could improve for the next time. But I know now that this is just a misconception because it's okay to not talk to everyone. And even if you can connect with just one person, but on a deeper level, it's actually great. And it's also okay if you don't want to go. But the pressure of having to do things like extroverts, because it's the way that it should be, really messed up with my head for too long, honestly. That does nothing for your business and messes up with how you see yourself. If you put yourself in a place where you're basically fighting a weakness, instead of putting yourself in a situation where you can do great, where you can let your strength shine, you are literally self-sabotaging. And then comes the spiral, self-consciousness. Maybe I'm not good at this, maybe I'm not cut for this, and honestly, we don't need that. We already have so many things to think about. So put yourself in situations where you can actually do well. A little discomfort is fine, don't get me wrong. Like, I love getting out of the comfort zone, that's where growth happens. But there's a big difference between pushing a little bit in a healthy way and doing a step that's definitely too long for your leg. For me, big events are not great. Like, I don't talk to people the way that I would love to. Therefore, sometimes I even go quiet. And it's just not for me, I found out. On the other hand, one-to-one, that's a completely different story. Or a small setting with small teams, that's great. And maybe for you, it's not even that. Maybe for you, it's not even talking. Maybe you're great at writing. So for you, for example, a community where you can write a post like forums or Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups, maybe those are better. Networking can happen in many ways. So find yours. Because resilience is really important. And building a business, it's really hard. It's, by definition, one of the hardest things you can do in the world of jobs. It takes time, and constant rejection can be rough, especially on your mental health. You don't want to expose yourself only to situations where the feedback is negative. Put yourself in situations where you can actually connect and leaving feeling encouraged. So no, networking, it's not a speed run to meet as many people as possible. You don't need the stage if you don't want it, but you want to connect to the right people, even if they're just a small group, and in a way that makes sense for you. And by the way, for this exact purpose, I just created a community. It's a Facebook group. It's called The Quiet Founders, and it's made especially for this, to make networking easy for introverts like us. We make quick coffee chats during the week. It's 15 minutes, so it's something that's really quick, like literally the time of a coffee, so we're all busy. But it's a nice way to put yourself in a room with like-minded people where there's no pitch, nothing performative. We just meet each other. Plus, there are also some other activities, and I plan on organizing also some workshops with the members. So it is just born, it is still very little, but if you're interested, you will find the link in the description. Feel free to join. I would be so happy to meet you in the weekly coffee breaks. All right, so it's time for line number 3, and it's another big one, and it's the myth of cold DMing as the only way to find clients. And look, I know that is actually a strategy. That's also a great one if you're good at it. You can do that. I'm not saying that. But I'm also a strong believer of the don't do what you hate philosophy. And I just hate cold DMing. Hate it. I tried them multiple times and it just feels so intrusive. So cringe. Like as if I was pushing my product onto someone even if I'm not doing that. And it just doesn't align with my values because I want to work with people I'm happy to work with, and I want people to be happy to work with me. That's where I always built the best collaborations I ever had, experienced, and that gave me the best results. So yeah, I did test myself, or I received them. I received the scripts. I saw your last post. That was so inspiring. I want to connect. What's your biggest business challenge right now? What's your biggest marketing challenge right now? I felt fake every second of it, even though I was going there with the most genuine intention. And I also got very rude answers sometimes, but honestly, I don't blame them. Even if I'm being honest and polite, I mean, it still feels intrusive if I'm trying to sell you something out of the blue. What I'm trying to say is that if you love them, keep doing them. That's great. But if you don't, you don't have to force it. Though I still liked cold DMing when we're doing that with zero intention to sell, and you're just saying hi because you actually find that person interesting. You share something useful to them because you're like, oh, I have this resource and it's free and this is exactly the person I made it for. In that case, that's great, right? You build rapport in a way that's natural. Or sometimes you even ask for help, like I've been doing in the past for example, research. And sometimes this also ends up in a sale because that's how networking works, right? But if it doesn't, who cares? In that case, you just met someone that's genuinely interesting. You added the person to your network. But the point I'm trying to make is that an alternative is possible. It may take more time or different resources, different tools, but you can build the pipeline without cold DMing. It is definitely okay to choose what's aligned and sustainable, even if it's something that different from the norm because everybody else is telling you to do that, do that, do that. Life 4, it's another good one that I really like because I have a very personal view on that, and it's consistency equals to show up every day. To me, this is a one big misconception, and it really can hit your sense of worth the hardest. Because to me, consistency doesn't mean never miss, but actually means always come back. If you set a schedule that doesn't match your life, and this is a mistake that's very common, you'll last likely 10 days, maybe a month, and then you will crash and decide that you're not good at marketing. But it's not that. It's not true. It's just that the plan was bad for you. We're not machines. We have a business, but we also have a life. We have families. We have people we love. We have hobbies. We have sick days. We have the dentist appointment. Hello, life. So for me, consistency is the ability to adjust and still show up for yourself, for your business, for your marketing, even if you miss something. If your reality allows you to post 2 times per week, start there. If you can do just 1 blog per month, maybe 1 YouTube video per month, start there. And if you miss a week or a month, you didn't ruin anything. The only thing that matters is that you come back next week. It's like the gym. The problem is if you quit after missing 1 day. Just adjust the plan. Don't judge yourself based on one single event. Because doing what is really sustainable beats doing what seems perfect big time. 2 or 3 things that you can actually keep up in the long run will always outperform any ideal plan that you just drop after a month. And this is also why I stress this so much in my program. Because the rigid rules you put onto yourself or the mentality of the all or nothing, that's what sabotages your marketing. So no, to me, consistency is not showing up every day, but it's not giving up. And to do so, make sure you find your own rhythm. And then we have life 5. And it's not just about marketing, but it's life in general. It's like the core, the queen of all lies for us introverts. And this is a foundational lie. Thinking that introversion is a business liability. It's the idea that to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to change who you are and that you must become like extroverts. And this is the most dangerous lie because it attacks your identity and puts you in that uncomfortable position of forcing yourself into something you are not every single day. And this naturally leads to that haunting feeling that you're not good enough. You see those loud, charismatic entrepreneurs and think that there's something wrong with you. There must be something wrong with you. And this is what truly keeps introverts stuck. It's the belief that you just will never be as good as them unless you become them. But your introversion is not your weakness. As I often say, it's actually your superpower, your marketing superpower. Think about it, like all the nice things you can do, like your ability to focus deeply on a topic that can help you create amazing content, high quality content that answer relevant questions for your clients and that create also real trust. Just like that natural empathy that you have that can create a very deep relationship with a potential client or make them extremely happy after you've been working with them. Many successful personalities and leaders are actually introverts. So stop believing, free yourself from this narrative that you've been taught to, because you're great just the way you are. So why not stop fighting your nature and build a business in a way that actually honors it? So burn the extroverted books, embrace your quiet strengths. That's what you need. And this is one of the reasons why I created the quiz that I have. The one that helps you understand how you work in terms of content marketing so that you can start create content in a way that suits you, who you are and how you work. And if you want to try it, I'll leave the link down in the description. It's like 10 questions, takes 2 minutes. And thank you so much for being here, because this is the end of the video. Remember that being quiet is not a weakness. It's actually your greatest strength.